And today's webinar is all about engaging teams that work from home. So if it's cool with you guys, we're going to get started because let's go fast, let's go fun. If you've been on any of my webinars, trainings, or keynotes, you know my style. So let me go ahead and click share so we can share this slide deck with you. Let me show you, and we'll go ahead and we'll get started today. I don't know about you guys, but working from home is one of those things that I absolutely love doing, but quarantine's a little bit different. Quarantine is one of those things where it really starts to talk about in the current climate that we're in, we're being forced to work from home. We're being forced to work from home sometimes with a lot of lack of preparedness. And then also too, some of us really enjoy working from home, but others of us, myself included, really love the social aspect of an office. I mean, you guys can drop it in the chat. Is anyone else with me that the social part of work is one of your favorite parts? I personally love it. And so, oh, yep, I see you guys. But this is where we are. Distraction, distraction everywhere. This meme is so completely accurate because right now what we're dealing with is we're dealing with 24-hour news that seems to change every single time. It tends to be people that are worried about not just their jobs, their family, their health, the future of our countries, the future of our world, but then also too, let's face it, clients. Our clients are freaking out. I know I was talking with friends of mine earlier, and they're in the weddings and events industry, and they're talking about people wondering about July events. And somebody put it so accurately, Christine from the Audubon Zoo and Aquarium, she said, I'm trying to think through April 14th. And so I know that's a lot of us, and as leaders and as, you know, peers and communities that are trying to help people and trying to lead people. I really appreciate you being on this webinar. If you were on yesterday's, I said the same thing, but because you showed up, it means that you care. And let's hear it for the people that care. And so how are we going to handle this? Well, I always like to think that I want to be just like my dog when he comes home. And when I come home and I bring in McDonald's hamburger, this is my fur baby. Look at him. Hopefully you're on the other side of the screen just saying, oh, he is the cutest. Yes, I love it. I love it. I see you guys. Well, if you know me, you know I love pups. And my pup, the second I come home, he is so excited. But the second I come home with a McDonald's hamburger for him, things just got real. And he gives this sharky look. I mean, look at his eyes. They're just glossed over and they're like, Mom, cut the crap. Give me the hamburger. And that's, I think, a little bit, I know it sounds silly, but it's what we want for our teams right now. We want them to be focused. We want them to be eye on the prize. And we also want them to be excited and hopeful, like looking forward to what the next little bit is really going to be like for a lot of us. So I'm right there with you. I like to think, you know, dogs can teach us so much, not just about life and love, but also about work. And I hope we take this focus with bricks through our talk today, because I think it really starts with staying in touch. And if you were on yesterday's webinar, or if you missed it and want a recording, just head to my blog. But staying in touch is really, really important. And I thought it'd be pertinent for today, talking about keeping teams engaged, really discussing for a few moments, what are the options you have when staying in touch? Because if anyone's out there right now in the chat, what do you guys currently do to keep in touch with your clients and your team as you guys are going through this? Does anyone have anything specific they're doing? I'd love to see it in the chat. You know, you never know when someone's good idea is going to be a real blessing for you. I will say that staying in touch to me comes up in a few different ways. Sometimes it can be FaceTime, Skype, and Zoom. FaceTime, obviously, if you do have an iPhone, it makes a lot of sense. And it's amazing how much just seeing someone's face. I always like to think about when you talk to kids, your grandparents. Yes, you can hear them over the phone and you can think about one thing, but then when you see them in reality, you get a much clearer picture of how they are, what they're doing, and what they need. So FaceTime or Skype really helps. One thing that I love about Zoom, which is what we're using today for this webinar, you can record it and you can have group parties. And yes, you can do that in FaceTime as well. But one of the things that's really fun is just all really working together. Another thing could be via Google Chat or Slack, so messaging apps. And I don't know about you guys, I'm an 80s baby, so I really wish AOL Instant Messenger was around right now. AIM was the best messenger of all time, and you can at me on that. I loved AIM with all our screen names and our away messages. But since we don't have it, we'll go with Google Chat or Slack. And by the way, if you do have a Gmail, Google Chat's already included and interfaces really nicely in your email. So feel free to just Google like Google Chat installment, and I'm sure you'll find an easy tutorial, which we can link to in the blog too, just in case you don't have it. Connected via the old conference call, right? There tends to be a big eye roll when I say this, but I even just toss out the idea of phone calls. Do you remember what those are? We are so busy right now on our phones. And most of the time, if you're like me, you're scrolling Instagram looking for cute dogs and supporting my friends and sharing something funny to laugh at. But what about a phone call? And I would really challenge you to think on a phone call and really making that more of your regular daytime schedule with your team. Not too much, not too little. I'm not sure what the best balance is for you, but I will say phone calls, you know what you can't do while you're on a phone call? You typically cannot be on your phone. Yes, you could, I mean, you know when someone's disinterested. What's great about a phone call is for those moments, those brief moments, it takes the focus away from social media. It takes the focus away from the news. It takes the focus away from whatever else is going around. And it gives people a break. And I don't know about you guys, but I need a break sometimes. And there's something about a voice that I love on the other end of the phone. And what that can look like, by the way, it's not just how you're connecting, it's what you're connecting for. Connecting for co-working hours. This is something we're going to be putting together inspired by Renee Dallo. She's doing these great virtual co-working hours. We'll post a link via Zoom. It'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for just 1 hour. You can come, put on, you know, you can be with us via audio, or you can be with us ideally via video, and we're going to say, hey guys, what's up, all this kind of stuff. We're going to go around, and why not make it for your team? Make it an opportunity to say, okay, by the end of these 55 minutes, I'm going to have X completed. Beautiful. How about just seeing each other, knowing each other's working? That's going to build a lot of trust, especially if you are a leader that struggles occasionally with trust, which I get it. It's a side of control. It's a side of caring. I see you and I understand you. This is a great opportunity to build it. So co-working hours, super popular. What about meetings and discussions, right? Discussing anything via connectivity. Instead of making those lone wolf decisions, which I know you're capable of, is there an opportunity to keep connected? What about happy hours? Hey, listen, 4:30, 5 o'clock, sometimes, I don't know about y'all, I've been waking up in the morning and thinking, when can I have a White Claw? Just when? I just want to know, I want to save the margaritas till the afternoon. If we start margarita rationing, I'm really in trouble. But what about happy hours? What about an unwind hour? What about networking? Staying connected virtually right now for networking is going to take, honestly, stress off of you. It's going to utilize your association membership, which, let's face it, you've paid good money for. Let's make sure we're using it. And networking right now is so valuable because associations are putting out great content. If you're in the wedding industry, WIPA is doing a series with the incredible Christy Osborne and Michelle Loretta and a few others this week. We've got NACE putting out incredible virtual hangouts as well. We've got different associations, the Club Managers Association of America. I'm coming to you guys on a webinar next Monday. If we can't get together, let's be together. Like, why not? So check out your associations. And by the way, if you're thinking, oh yeah, I did pay for an association membership, this is a great time to email them. And if they need any help putting together a webinar, you know who to call, okay? We can freaking do it because associations are there to serve their members just like you. And finally, what about new relationships? I just like to say, those business cards we always collect when we're out networking, and yet occasionally we either just send a form email to, or we say, yeah, we'll get coffee, and we never get coffee. This is the time to do it. I will tell you what, I have a stack of cards of people that I've met on the road or doing keynotes or speaking at associations. And there are people that either A, I've had a great connection with and wanted to connect with more, or B, people I wanted to follow up with and chat with. I got to tell you, in preparing for this, I pulled out a few. Holly Hannon from Denver, Colorado. I met her through the Association for Women in Events. I'm calling her. Adam Morgan with LaForce DJ out of Texas. I wanted to connect with Adam Moore. We like the same motivational speakers. Ashley Owens with Visit Greenville, South Carolina. Hashtag, yeah, that Greenville. We met at an MPI meeting and we really hit it off. And this incredible chef, Lupita Mobar. Lupita works for the Hilton Riverside down in New Orleans. And we met at a James Beard Foundation event that I was speaking at. And Lupita had such great energy and an incredible story. And she stood out to me as somebody that I want to make sure that no matter what's going on right now, she knows I'm thinking about her and I've got her back. And by the way, I'm great at LinkedIn recommendations and connecting her with hopefully somebody if she needs it. God forbid if she needs it. So who are you reaching out to? Who is somebody that you've been meaning to and that you want to talk with? I suggest what better time than now? Make those new relationships. And by the way, you know, these meetings, this is an example of a Zoom meeting. Look at all these really nice people. Now, full disclosure, I don't know any of these smiling faces, but how cute is this? Now, personal preference, I think it'd be great if we had margaritas and maybe a party. So, you know, just maybe be a little flexible. Bring your favorite beverage to a meeting. And by the way, I had the banners to say, if someone on your team right now is celebrating something, this goes back to my 3 C's we talked about yesterday. We celebrate, we congratulate, and we console, not just in these times, but in everyday life. If somebody needs celebrating, let's celebrate. Make it a big deal. And by the way, yesterday was President-elect of NACE, Morgan Montgomery's birthday. So if Morgan, if you're on here, happy frickin' birthday. I swear to God, we will celebrate so much when we are able to actually be in the same space. But super happy birthday to Morgan. Just because her birthday fell on an unfortunate time that we're not able to get together, it doesn't mean that we're not able to share and celebrate it in our own ways. So in the interest of time, we'll move on to a mindset shift that you all as leaders and supporters are really going to need to lean into. And this is about assuming the best. I go back to Bricks, my dog. If you have a dog, I would say cat, but cats can be a little moody. But if you have a dog and you walk in the door from work, they are there almost every day, smiling and looking up at you and acting as if they have won the lottery. And you know what they do? They assume the best. They assume that the person you walked out the door as and the person you walked in the door as are the same good-hearted person, the same person that feeds them and loves them. But even better than that, they assume that you are also happy to see them. They assume their own intentions in you. And I think that's a beautiful lesson because at the end of the day, I think that sometimes when we look at leadership, and I do a lot of leadership training around this, when we start to be fearful of our team, it's because we stop assuming the best and because we go really hard on ourselves. So how can we stop that? I think first of all, it does start with coaching, with love and trust. What happens when you put down your leader hat and you put on a coaching hat? Does what you say change? If you were a coach of a Little League baseball team and your team were your players, cute, adorable 8, 10-year-olds, right? What would you say to them? And I think these are 3 of my favorites that I discuss and I want to share with you guys. The first one is asking why instead of WTF. And for those who don't understand WTF, it's slang for saying what the F? And I'll leave it at that. But how many times have you hired somebody because you've seen potential in them? You've hired them because you know they're going to be good. You hire them because you believe that they're going to be great at their jobs, which means that you're going to be better as a leader. They're going to take stuff off your plate. They're going to excel. They're going to be a great mesh with the team. I get it. Me too. But you know what happens occasionally? What happens is that stress comes in and we start trading in these hopes for these, oh my God, moments. And so I challenge you all out there, the next time you are getting frustrated or you are bewildered by a team member, I simply want you to ask the question, why? Why did you do it that way? Why did you phrase it that way? Why do you think, we shouldn't do it that way? Instead of assuming ill intent, be like the dogs. Assume the best intentions. And guess what? We're going to learn some stuff along the way. And we may have to put down our control issues a little bit too, because not everything has to be done in the exact way that we've always done it. So asking why instead of WTF. The second item is giving time to think it through. Now, in my behavioral profiling, we talk about fast-paced people and slow-paced people. One thing I want to encourage you to think about is not everyone operates at your pace. And I know, I mean, raise your hand out there. If you're a fast-paced person like me, we like to get it done. Oh yeah. Oh, we're blowing up and raising hands. Yeah, I see you. All the slower paced people are like show offs. Listen, I get it. I am with you. I like to go fast. By the way, when we ask fast-paced people, when we ask for something to be done, we want it done yesterday, now, not 5 minutes from now. More than 20 minutes, you're pushing it. But here's the thing, we're in unusual times right now. People's minds are somewhere else. And by the way, people's paces, they might have just been blending in at work, and at home, they're able to be more themselves. So give time to think it through. When you're asking your teams to make decisions or move forward on things, I like to make my meetings at the end of the day because it allows for my slower paced team members to think on things. They have their best ideas in the shower at 6 a.m. the next day. Me, I talk to think, so it's going, going, going. But give them a little bit more space than you normally would. And finally, ask them a simple question. A coaching question that I love is, what feels best to you? What feels best for you? What is the best thing that I can do? People sometimes do not know what they need from leaders, but they will always appreciate being asked, always. And as you're going through it, you've got to set the right expectations. And expectations, if you've seen any of my programs before, I'm big on them. Because you know why? The world has expectations of us. We're all high performers and we love to crush it. We love to exceed it, right? I got my goal crushing folks out there. I got my people that like to be the best and then be even better. And I get that. So how are we setting the right expectations? I would really encourage you to take a look at and communicate clearly the right expectations around timelines. How long do you expect something to take? Is this reasonable? Can you do this? Hey, I want you to research something, but I don't want you to spend more than an hour on it. Limiting people's time is love. How about flexibility? Right? Is it okay if somebody works a 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. shift and then comes back after noon because they're trading off with their spouse and childcare? Or what are you flexible on? And by the way, that also includes the things that you're not flexible on. What about the methods of communication? Are you somebody who, please don't, you're trying to stay off your phone, so please don't call me. I'm not going to respond to text message. Maybe chat me or always call. What about your attitude? What is the attitude? I would encourage everyone out here, not just for their teams, but personally, what is the attitude that your team can expect from you? And what is the attitude you can expect from your team members? To me, my attitude is proactive. I let people in my life that I love, I let them know I can't listen to the news right now. I'll check in on the news a little bit later on today, but guess what? It's nuts and it changes minute by minute. I can't waste my valuable energy on, oh my God, did you hear this? Oh my God, did you hear that? My expectation is I keep my world as news free as possible. And finally, what about the creativity? What about this opportunity, that mindset shift we talked a little bit yesterday on yesterday's webinar about? What about that mindset shift of I don't have to, but I get to? And what are you going to build? What are you going to create? You might have seen it. One of my personal heroes, Sarah Blakely from Spanx, she shared an incredible a story about all the inventions that have been created in quarantine. And it's true, restriction builds creativity. So are you expecting creativity and fun and play and innovation out of your team? My guess is that not yet. But what happens if you do? What happens if you set an expectation on creativity? I'm going to tell you what, we're going to have new businesses by the end of this. We're going to have different businesses. Your business, your company, your life, your streams of revenue might not look the same at the end of all this. But you know what? It's going to be better, especially if you can harness that creativity and do it with your team. I know I'm a big person that thinks as long as we don't stop, we're going to be good. So let's freaking keep on going. Finally, a third thing that I think might be helpful, and then we'll open it up to questions from you guys, but I really encourage you all to spruce up your spaces and encourage your team and really lead by example here. Now, if you were to see my house right here in North Carolina, I've got this office. It's got a lot of light. We just installed a new chandelier, and I've got all this open space around me. I've got bunches of color, and I've got booths close by. So I am really happy in my space, but it takes a while to clean it up, get it organized. I had to, vacuum and dust and maybe put in a nice smelling candle. Those things make a lot of sense. So how can you encourage your team to make the surroundings around themselves be better? Well, here are some of my ideas that cost absolutely $0. I don't know about you guys, but I'm frugal and I'm definitely not trying to get anything delivered to my house or go out and get it right now. So some of the things I thought of were maybe an office spruce up meeting where, we take 30 minutes and we all set it on our calendars and we do before and after pictures, right? Saying, hey, look at this, right? If we don't make the time for it, we rarely get it. And right now we're in chaos and it feels good. What about a donation pile race? We all have a bunch of stuff in our house right now that doesn't need to be there. We've got clothes that'll never fit. I understand. My days of a size 12 are gone, and I loved them, and I'm so sorry for how big I thought I was during those times, right? Now I'm owning it as me, and I need to give it away. So what do you have? Can you take 10 minutes and say, all right, guys, let's go around and all that kind of stuff? Post it. Say, this is what we're doing in the time that we're in crisis. And it feels good, by the way. We all know the truth, right? It feels good to give. It feels good to give. That's what I based my entire TEDx talk on. So additionally, what about options for sprucing up and just sharing best practices? Having like a meeting, talking about, how we focus, what helps each other focus. Talking about the feelings that we love to feel. I focus on energy and feelings quite a bit. The feelings that I look for every day are the feelings that I find and create for myself. What about the habits and routines that are helpful? My incredible director of operations, Rachel, she is a workout fiend, and God, I love her so much. And the last text message she sent to me last night was 15 minutes of cardio tomorrow morning, no excuses. I love that. What about the hacks too? My husband, King Sheerin, if you follow me on Instagram, he's on there a lot. King Sheerin also works from home, and I'm normally not home this much. So there's been a little massaging around schedules and being on time. And right now he's in his office. I'm out here hanging with you guys. But those hacks and tips, by the way, if you have those tips, comment them in the chat, post them, share them. We all need it. And finally, what about a team redesign brainstorming? You can almost set this as a goal, like when you get to X amount. Have you been wanting new chairs for the office? Have you been wanting to add stand-up desks to some of your areas? All right, let's talk about, let's allow 30 minutes of dream space, of creativity space, to talk about the things you want to do when you get back. Because you know what it's going to be? It's going to be a privilege once we get back in the office and back in the saddle. These are all things you can do for $0 right now for really sprucing up your space. And by the way, leaders out there listening, start with you, right? Start right now after this webinar. Take out that trash you've been meaning to do it. Clean up your desk. Throw away all those business cards from your old job, right? And all the pens and the swag. Are you guys like me out there? And I just keep this stuff randomly. We're never going to use it. So let's go ahead and throw it out. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys. I know we've got about 5 minutes left. I'll stay on as long as you all would. But if you'd like, if you're not able to stay on with us, I just want to say out loud, you can always email me at hi@rachelsheerin.com. So hi@rachelsheerin.com. You'll be getting a replay of this webinar too. So feel free to reply to that email. I really do listen and hear everything. What questions do you guys have for me? So, okay, perfect. Oh, this chat's just blowing up. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Ryan, I love that you like my AOL. Oh yeah, RIP AIM. Gosh, you know what? Maybe we could talk to AOL guys. Maybe they're working on bringing back AIM right now. Oh, perfect. ABC. Yes, Jacqueline, thank you for mentioning that. ABC did a webinar. They're working on more. Oh, good. I love seeing everybody's chats about, about Morgan's birthday. Oh, Becca, your cat waits at the top of the stairs. I love it. It's adorable. Oh, Oh, this makes me feel so good. So let's see. Oh, Morgan, she jumped off the call. That's right. Everybody put in the chat, happy birthday, Morgan Montgomery. Seriously, all the emojis, just spam her, guys. She's the best. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, somebody's posting their LinkedIn. Heck yeah, flood it with the LinkedIn post. Oh, I can't wait. So, okay. Deborah asked, will we be able to watch this at a later date and see the comments too? Yes, totally get it. And Deborah, we're right there on the distractions, right? Distractions everywhere. Yeah, I'll go ahead and send it to you, Deborah, so don't even worry about that. Oh, I love this. Somebody asked, let's see, is that Michelle? You asked if I was watching my camera in your office, literally clean my whole office and bagged my Goodwill items. Yes, I love that. Let's see what else we got going on here. What are your thoughts on daily team meetings? Overkill. This is such an awesome question. So let me address this one. Daily team meetings. It's really what I would do is I would ask the team what they would like. To me, I like what's called a charge up meeting. A charge up meeting is 5 minutes in the morning. And because it is me, and y'all know I'm like, you know, a little motivational. I like energy. I like hype. I like fun. It starts off with me every single day playing a song or watching a video and getting hype. Whether it's Serena Williams' Nike video, which if you haven't seen it, I mean, wow. It could be Cher. If you saw my newsletter yesterday, if I could turn back time. I mean, it's not just appropriate for the moment. It is my go-to karaoke song of the moment right now. It's so good. I get hype myself. And we come together and we literally say a daily meeting doesn't have to be, what are you working on? You know, what's the update? A daily meeting can be something as simple as, what are you most looking forward to today? How do you want to feel today? What are you going to do to be able to feel that way? That's some of my favorite journaling. You know, what was the best birthday you ever had? What was the first car you ever drove? What was the first thing you ever wanted to be when you grew up? A team meeting right now is so much more than operational right now. It's an opportunity. So ask your team what their preferences are and try something a little bit more creative. You will be surprised at how people start to look forward to it. And by the way, here's going to be a bonus tip. It's not your job to motivate your team exclusively right now. I already mentioned the webinars. I mean, I'm thankful y'all are on here, but let me talk about all the podcasts, all the TED Talks, all the books out there, right? There is so much that you guys are able to draw on for motivation right there. So that'd be my thoughts, Sarah. So thanks for that question. Let's see. Oh, I feel like we're in such a panic right now. Oh yeah, I work at a college. I see you, Allison. To get ourselves to be virtual for our students when they return soon, so the team doesn't respond yet when I try to get them to pause or breathe for a moment, hoping that settles soon. Absolutely. And Allison, you know, I just like to say, I think we can take a real note from rappers here and just get a bunch of air horns, or do it with your mouth like I do and just go wah, wah, wah. Because when you do something so silly like that, it at least makes people stop and go, what the hell is going on with this woman? Because seriously, what we project matters. And you're at such a pivotal moment right now because you are influencing young minds and they're going to be the future leaders. Allison, you know the importance already of keeping your team together and positive and things like that. Allison, you can email me and we can talk a little bit online, maybe around those coaching things. Let's see, we got tips on managing expectations and making sure the team is actually getting work done. Perfect. I'm so glad you asked this, Heather. Heather Green, shout out. So one of the things we're going to put in the email you'll get after this is going to be what we have created. And Rachel, my director of ops, is on here. That's right. We're both named Rachel. She's going to drop perhaps this link in the chat. We've created a workflow, and it's a daily workflow. It's super, super simple. The key is any system you're about to use has got to be simple so people can use it. But this really looks like, you know, what is the big project you're working on? What are the 3 things you did in the morning, 3 things you did in the afternoon, and being really aware of the expectations we have. Yes, we have high expectations when things are running smoothly. Spoiler, things are not running smoothly. So being able to track it, and I would say, Heather, if you can, release a little bit of that control moments and acknowledge that it's going to be a challenge for you because it sounds like you care deeply about your work and you maybe, you know, there's a micromanaging maybe slant, which by the way, no judgment here. We totally get it. But making sure you actually get work done, that's on really being able to set those goals and track the bigger picture tasks. Try not to get lost in the minutia and try and use that form that we've created. It's a game changer. It's been a game changer for us. Oh, I'm seeing all this. Oh, thanks for all you do. That's so sweet. Thanks, Jacqueline. Oh, what's really in your coffee cup? Nems asked. It is definitely Irish coffee. Here we go. Good choice, Jameson in the background. Here I am. There we go. We got a big one. Because y'all, I don't know about you, but normally I never drink caffeine. It is time to deploy the caffeine in this moment. Jenny asked, can you post a link to your TED Talk? Girl, I wish I could. Uncle Ted is still reviewing my talk, so I promise I didn't cuss in it. They just take a few months after my TED Talk to review it and then place it and categorize it. So Jenny, fingers crossed, is coming out soon. We all need it. I'm biased, but seriously, we all need it. And it's around happiness and how happiness actually makes you more successful in the work that you do. So let's see. Oh, Larissa, thanks for being here. I'm so glad. Have good luck on your bride call. Oh, just everybody saying thanks. Oh, let's see. Oh, it looks like Robert at the Befreight Knot. All right. Doing sales training to launch. All right. Go, Robert. We got a daily huddles for 15 to 30 minutes. It's mostly social, but also a check-in. It's been good so far. Great job, Tamara. That sounds awesome. I'll tune in anytime. We got Anna. I see whiskey. Where's the tequila? Anna, that's coming. Okay, girl. When we're talking about sales, I'll bring out the tequila. This is great. We do a quick virtual icebreaker. Awesome suggestions. Awesome suggestions. Yes, is there any way to get yesterday's webinar? Absolutely, Stephanie. Go ahead and email me at hi@rachelsheerin.com. I'll send you the link directly, and it has a bunch of links. It has the slides. It has the replay. No problem whatsoever. Let's see. Oh, virtual happy hour. All right. I love that you're taking in there. Oh, my nails are so fun. Thank you so much. I really enjoy nails, so I appreciate that y'all do too. I'm new to your work. Do you have a book? Ryan? Oh, where do I start? That's going to be a tequila conversation. Yes, I have a book. It'll be coming out in Q4 this year. So you guys are probably the first public audience to really hear about it. But yeah, good times. Oh, Monica, happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh, Emily's got a great question. How do we as employees manage a boss who is, shall we say, slightly overbearing? Okay, so Emily, I'm going to give you one of my best sales tips as well as managing up tips. So go ahead and get out the pens and paper. A managing up tip that I love to do is a strategy called stacking. Stacking is where you essentially ramp up and get people to say yes, 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 or no, no, no over and over to essentially prove your point subliminally. So essentially one of the things that you can use with stacking would be a conversation such as this, Emily. Emily, I love this company. You know that I love this company. Is that correct? Yes. And Emily, I have given everything, and I've really gone gung-ho here recently. You can tell this by this and accolades and this feedback. Is that correct? Yes. And you know that I believe that working here is one of my favorite things to do because of the allowance of freedom that I get. Is that correct? Yes. And creativity. Do you know? Yes. Which is why I'm going to ask to lean on that trust and that understanding and that legacy and that freedom and that creativity right now so that I can be my best. Which is why I'd like to propose this. What are your thoughts? And you can also be direct and ask, what are your fears? Because that's really what's behind people being controlling or overbearing. It is the fear. It's the fear of a loss of control. It's the fear of being tricked. It's the fear of being not liked or abandoned. It's the fear of things changing or mourning the loss of something. Or what about the fear of not knowing everything? That's a crippling fear that some people have. Now me, I'm happily ignorant on so many things that never even occurs to me. But when people start to control, get them to stack. Yes. Remind them of those good things. Is that correct? Yes. Have I always been there? Yes. Have I always done a good job? Yes. Do you see all these reviews we have? Yes. Do you know how happy my clients are? Yes. Remember when I was salesperson of the year last year? Yes. And so what's the fear around having me work from home? What's the fear around us all being remote? Because here's the great thing, guys. If you have a team or a leader that lets you know their fears, it's going to give you the opportunity to soothe them. And I really think that you guys are a bunch of big-hearted folks out there. I think the world is full of big-hearted people. And you're going to be able to soothe them and to comfort them in whole new ways. And get what you want out of it. So that would be my best advice off the cuff. Emily, I'm going to encourage you, follow up with me. Let me know how it goes. We can take it to round 2, strategy. So let's see, I'm going to tie it up. I know we're starting to go over a little bit, you know, Robin, tedious times to do on the regular. Now I have time to catch up on that. Heck yes, filling emails. Go, Robin, go. Yesterday, Robin, you got to check out yesterday's webinar. This is all about that mindset. So this is huge. Becca goes, I only drink caffeine if it has alcohol in it. Fabulous. I like your strategy. Oh, perfect. Lauren's got my email. Thanks, Lauren. Geez, you're hired. There we go. Oh, Nyasha says, great question, Emily. Sarah goes, Emily for the win. Isn't this perfect? Jacqueline's got to go. Adios, muchacha. Oh, perfect. Rachel Davis threw in the link to yesterday's webinar for everybody. Oh, Emily, I love you. My whole office is watching saying, preach. I love the legacy fear point. Okay. Welcome to the church of Rachel. Let's freaking go. Glad to see you guys on here. Oh, and Deirdre says, yes, fear causes so much of that. Oh, I love it. Well, you guys, our time is up for today. Per usual, we are going to have the replay available. If you do have any other questions, you want to see more pictures of my cute dog, I mean, you know where to go. I'm hanging out on Instagram. We're going to be doing these webinars for the next three nights or 3 days. Tomorrow's is going to be on staying calm for clients. Thursdays is going to be about productive virtual meetings, conferences. If you're in an association and wondering how to make this shift, come with that. And then Friday, mark your calendars, Friday, 2 p.m. every day, 2 p.m. Eastern. We're talking money. We're talking cancellations. We're talking negotiation, refunds. This one is going to be a longer webinar. I'm sure there's a bunch of questions. So gather it together. Listen, today is another day. Great job, guys. We made it. We frickin' made it. And I'm sending so much love to you and light to you. You are incredible, not for what you do, but for who you do while you are doing it. I am wishing you the best. Let me know how I can help. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for being here, guys.